Happy St. Patrick's Day, First Church OKC family. I'm coming to you from home today because I wanted to share a couple of very important messages for you. On Sunday afternoon, I sent out an email that many of you saw, but I wanted to make sure that all of you were properly informed and you got this message very, very clearly. Following the CDC guidelines and now a proclamation from our Oklahoma United Methodist Bishop, Bishop Jimmy Nunn, I want to share a few things with you. First, we will be suspending in-person worship at Oklahoma City First Church for at least 30 days. And now because of this proclamation from our bishop early this morning, that will likely extend at least 8 weeks total. And so I'm going to say a word about that here in just a moment. Also, I wanted to alert you that our staff is going to be working from home for at least until further notice, because we are doing everything that we can to keep our First Kids daycare open, because they provide a vital community service that really is just not that's not conducive to our staff, with that daycare being right across the hall, and we want to be able to keep our staff safe. Finally, all in-person events at Oklahoma City First Church have been suspended for at least 30 days. And certainly there's some questions about whether that's going to be under 50 people or under 10 people. What we have decided as a church leadership, met with the administrative council last night, is that all events at Oklahoma City First Church are suspended at least for the next 30 days. Let me say a word about each one of these. First, worship or in-person worship is going to be suspended for at least the next 30 days. What that means is that worship is going to be taking place, but it will just be very, very different. It will not be in person. We will be live streaming our worship services as we have. However, in the last week, we have made improvements on that. Our staff will be in the sanctuary, but no one else will be allowed in. Again, the CDC guidelines have said, have strongly recommended to not have gatherings of more than 10 people at a time. And just the essential staff to be able to take care of a worship service is almost already 10 people. And so we're just not going to be allowed to let anyone else into the church facility on Sunday mornings. So we will make that live streaming available on all of our social media pages. But more importantly, and this is a new change, more importantly, it's going to be available on our own church's website at firstchurchokc.com. So you can go to firstchurchokc.com on Sunday mornings at 10:45, and you're going to be able to you're going to be able to join in online. And so we hope and pray that you will join with us on that. Doing this, we know that, again, we've made some improvements even over the last week. Our staff has diligently been working on this. We have worked to increase the quality of the video. We're also going to be trying to connect more intentionally with others during the worship service. This is new to all of us. We would ask that you would be patient with us. We believe that we are ahead of the curve a little bit compared to many other churches and our live streaming capabilities. So we fully expect that the quality of video and the quality of the audio will really be will be high quality. And so obviously, what we're going to be missing is that physical touch with one another. And so again, we're going to be doing all that we can to make sure that we connect with one another in different ways. Second, our staff is going to be working from home. Our daycare, the CDC and our state and city officials have requested that daycares stay open as long as they can in the middle of this health crisis, and that is so that healthcare workers, the children of healthcare workers, will have they'll have some care for them. The CDC has estimated that if daycares close down, at least 20% of all healthcare workers would have to stay at home in order to help care for their children. And so we believe that we're providing an essential community service. But with that, however, it does put our staff at risk. So our staff will be working from home. We have committed to keeping our regular office hours at home. Now, we want to let you know that this is more than, we're trying to do more than just setting up a computer at the dinner table and, watching Netflix most of the day and then doing a little bit of work. No, we're committed to keeping our office hours and doing the things that we know that we need to be doing. And so it may take a few days for us to get all of our offices set up at home, but we do hope and pray that we will have fully functioning offices at home. So again, we would ask that you be patient with us. If you need to contact us, you can go ahead and contact us on our personal cell phone numbers. Many of you have those. If it is an emergency, you can contact the emergency line by calling the church and simply selecting emergency line. Now that emergency line I will get a message for that. And so make sure that it is an emergency. But if you don't have our phone numbers, you can go ahead and call in on that emergency line, and you'll be able to get in contact with at least one of us. Third, all events at First Church have been suspended at least until further notice. You may know that many community events have already been suspended or they've been postponed. The Oklahoma City National Marathon or the Oklahoma City Marathon has been postponed until October. There are a number of other events that have also been suspended. At First Church, we have decided we're not going to have any events at the church facility. And so that means Sunday school, Bible studies, gatherings, any events, and all of those events, they're not going to be taking place at First Church. However, we think that there are some other options. I would put a small caveat to that. I have been contacted from some folks who had some weddings scheduled, and they're not going to be able to have those at those venues and those large weddings. And so there may be a possibility that I may be having some very, very small weddings, trying to keep those to 10 people or less. It will be simply immediate family. So we might be having some of those. So again, that really doesn't stop those things from happening. By way of Bible studies, by way of Sunday school classes, we anticipate that we are going to start having those things. If not this Sunday, certainly by the following Sunday, we'll be having some sort of Sunday school. We're also going to be having a regular Wednesday night Bible studies as well. We're going to be having those using the Zoom app. Zoom is simply an online meeting tool. So if you have a smartphone, or if you have a computer with a microphone and a camera, you'll be able to join. You'll be able to join in, and we hope and pray that you will join in. We know that this is going to be difficult for some of you because you don't have access to either a smartphone, or you don't have access to a computer with a camera and microphone. There may be some other ways that we can get around that as well. Let me say a couple of other things. We need to do everything that we can. We're going to have to make an extra special effort to stay connected with one another. We would encourage you to check on those who are elderly here in our congregation. If you need the names of those and you want to help check on them, let me know, and I would love to share some names and individuals with you that need to be checked on. We're not going to be connected in person, but there's a great opportunity for us to be connected digitally. It's very different than some of the crises like this that we've had in our nation's history. Now we have that opportunity, and so we would strongly encourage you to be connected with one another digitally. We're not exactly sure what is next for our our ministry to our homeless. That is a very, very vulnerable population. They are at extreme risk in this virus outbreak. And so we have been talking as the church leadership, the missions team and those that are responsible for that. We've been talking, and we're just in the beginning stages of those talks about what we can do next. Let me say a word about finances in the life of the church. It's one of the things that our church leadership we've already talked about what that means. We would encourage you, because we are a continuing church and we continue to have electricity bills, and we continue to have light bills, and we continue to have the cost of employing our staff. But more importantly, we have made some real commitments to missionaries serving all around the world. Some of those are on the very front line in combating this disease around the world. We also have other mission responsibilities and opportunities. And so we would encourage you to continue your financial support for Oklahoma City First Church. You can do that, again, by going to our website and giving electronically. Or you can simply mail your checks into the church office. We will have our financial staff available, and they will be coming in and processing all of those offerings every week. And likewise, during our worship service, we will be having a time of offering, and you'll be invited to either log in digitally and give electronically, or go ahead and make that check out. Put a physical stamp on that, physically mail that to the church. You're welcome to do that. We also want to let you know that we are going to be communicating to you digitally, either through videos just like this or by other means. Let me say that this is unprecedented, at least in our lifetime. At least for the last close to 100 years, we've not seen something like this. It's been a long, long time. None of us have lived through something like this, and so we're all brand new to this. We would ask that you extend patience to us as a church. But I would say that there are two different ways that we can go in this crisis. We can emotionally and relationally and spiritually withdraw, or we can draw closer to one another, closer to God. We can become a stronger church. We at Oklahoma City First Church are, I believe, uniquely positioned to reach more people even during this unique crisis. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us gathering together and doing everything that we can to connect with one another. Finally, I want to leave with you a passage of Scripture that I think is so appropriate during this time. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7 says this: "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And then the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." That's my prayer for you, that you would not be anxious, that you would not be fearful, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, you would present your requests to God. So I know that you'll be joining with me in prayer for one another, for those who are on the very front lines of this crisis, for our church and for our leaders. God bless, and have a great, great day.